Alright folks, we're going to call this range vlog. I did film some stuff shooting, but honestly it was really pretty distracting and I had to run home to get more air, and I forgot my phone at home. I had it on the charger because that's what I'm using to film and stuff like that. If you don't want this kind of video, then just click away. I wrote down my notes, pretty close to 1,000 shots into today, about 700 of those being Crosman Premiers. I'll probably put another 200 downrange before I leave. But I just wanted to kind of gather my thoughts on video here of what I wrote down. When I said it's distracting, it is kind of distracting because I'm trying to tune and then I'm trying to film and stuff like that. So it's pretty distracting. So I just wanted to like really focus on where the shots are landing, as far as not where I'm putting them, but like the different velocities and feeling my way around the gun, adjusting the different knobs, kind of seeing how they work in harmony and stuff like that. So if you have an impact or you're interested in an impact, then this might be kind of the tuning stuff you're sort of looking for. I'm going to focus mostly on the Crosman Premiers. Sorry, I got mosquitoes and bugs and wind and pages are blowing around and the lighting's bad, and this is my old iPhone SE that I use as my chronograph, but it has a camera on it and it's really pretty poor quality, but anyway, that's what I'm using. Yesterday, I came out to and I was shooting 142 bar on the reg. There's a lot of the pros out there are shooting these, and they're also shooting slugs. They're shooting these really high reg pressures, and it makes sense because you know the idea is that you want a pop of air instead of air, and that way you're chasing less air out the end of your barrel, right? I've switched to the slug port on my barrel, and that's going to be another video because there's a very important way to do that that nobody mentions, and it's driving me crazy. So I got to make a video about that. But I switched to the slug port, which is the big fat port with the little bridge running through the middle of it. And I have another video that I don't know, I can make it pop up somewhere around here. So I have that. I have my carbon fiber liner in, and the rest of the gun is stock. So yesterday at 142 bar, I was shooting the JSB knockouts at 1,050 feet per second. And I had my quick turn knob, which is the little knob on the side there. And then the big knob is the power wheel. So that's how I'm going to refer to them from here on out. I had my hammer spring completely maxed out. It wouldn't turn anymore. The gun's still cocked, but it wouldn't turn anymore. So it's maxed out on 5 on the quick turn. I had 4 lines on the valve, and I had it on power wheel 16, which doesn't really matter where the power wheel's at. It's more important where the quick turn system's at, because the power wheel just jumps the adjustments on the quick wheel. Fruit flies trying to go up my nose. And honestly, the gun was an air hog. I've got 3 bottles. I have a 370 cc. I have which is a 300 bar. I have the stock 580, which is a 250 bar, 700 cc 300 bar. Today, I really wanted to focus on shooting the Crosman Premiers, and I was going to test the other stuff, but I wanted to go back to a lower reg pressure just so my gun wouldn't be such a damn air hog. Because the first time I used the 700 bottle on it, I was like 250 shots in, and I still had like 100 bar of usable air left. And so it was getting killer economy, and it was shooting good. So I kind of went back all the way back to where I was, actually less than where I was. I did a quick little tune in my house in the dark, and I started at 90 bar. Anyway, it wasn't enough, and so I ended up settling on 100 bar even, and that's what I've shot all day today. With the elevation and the heat and the humidity and all the stuff that I encounter, difference between my house and where I'm at here at the range in the jungle, I can vary between 1 and 3 bar, and I have a SecMet gauge on there now. I put my SecMet on there, and so it actually gives you a digital reading. So I was at 100 to 103 all day, and I kind of wanted to see how fast the platinum would refill, and how fast I could shoot the gun and still have it shoot accurately. And so if you watch the SecMet gauge when you shoot, it does take, and I don't know if it's just the gauge reading or what, but it does take a little bit for the pressure to stabilize. I would say, I don't know, 4 seconds or something like that for it to completely and fully stabilize. That said, some shots are faster than that, some aren't. So I don't really know if it's the gauge, the gun, what it is, but sometimes it is what it is. And so I do notice that I shoot so fast. Shooter ready, stand by.
1,066, 1,076, 1,075, 1,071, 1,076, 1,069, 1,078, 1,074, 1,074, 1,076, 1,081, 1,071, 1,070.
The gun cools off really quick, and I start seeing slight point of impact changes just because I'm shooting fast. And I know that's not what you're supposed to do. I don't give a fuck what you guys think. I'm shooting the way I'm shooting because I'm having fun with the thing that I bought. So I could care less about your opinions. If you've got opinions, you can leave them in the comment section. I am interested in hearing constructive info, but not dumb stuff about, oh, you're shooting too fast or whatever. I'm shooting what I want to shoot, and I'm going to test what I want to test because I really don't give a crap what anybody thinks. And I hope that a lot of you can appreciate that. And I do like to hear other people's inputs, and I weigh that. But if you just have dumb crap to say and you don't have any videos posted online and you're just some stupid anonymous troll because you don't have enough balls to have your own channel, then shut the fuck up. Anyway, the JSB Knockout should shoot pretty good at 1050. They do shoot okay. I really wasn't impressed. I haven't been impressed with any slug that I've shot at any of my guns yet, as far as just like straight up accuracy. And I've tinkered quite a bit. Now, in fairness, I didn't have a chronograph at very first. I was just tuning until I saw it look like it shoot good, and then I'd come out the next day and it wouldn't shoot good again. So now I have the FX chronograph, and it's, you know, accurate. It's basically the best one that everybody uses. They have that tabletop one too, but the normal one that's not 600 bucks or whatever the hell the other one is what I have, the $250 one. One of the problems I had with my old chronograph is apparently it wasn't consistent. I don't know. I can't tell if it was good or bad or ugly, or damn sun's poking through the trees, right, blasting me right in the eyeballs. So anyway, I'm shooting with an FX chronograph now, and so you guys can hear it a little bit in the videos. Let's see if I can change angles here and get a bunch of fire ants climbing up my ass. Went back to 100 bar. I got up here, it was 103, and it was 103 for the better part of the morning. And then I saw it at 102, and then I saw it at 101, and now it's been at 100 for hours. So I can't imagine that it takes 600 rounds to settle in. This gun's not new anymore. It might be new as far as I've only had it for a couple weeks, but I don't know how many I've got through it now. I think I've probably got at least 5,000 or something through it now. I tuned it so that my Power Wheel 1 at 4 lines would shoot 970 feet per second. So when I was testing the Premiers over the last week or so, they shot really good at 970 feet per second. And once again, I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care if you think it's too fast. I shot them from, I don't know, not very much at the lower speeds, but I've shot them from like 800 all the way to supersonic. I was shooting them at, I got them up to about 1138 today, and I shot a little bit of that, and then I settled it down to right about 1130. So I had a whole string that averaged about 1132, and they were actually shooting pretty good. Started out with my Power Wheel 1, and then I adjusted the quick tune so that it would shoot 970.
985, 973,
which is what I've been getting kind of the best groupings all around at. I just wanted that to just be able to go zip to power wheel 1 and zip it back to 16 and shoot a heavier thing for, you know, killing whatever I need to kill. So my power wheel 1 is roughly 2.4 lines, so just shy of the 2.5. There's no points on the side of the gun, but it's just shy of 2.5 on the gun. I have 4 lines on the valve, and it shoots basically right at 970. You might get a 965 in here and a 973 in there, but it's basically 970, and it's accurate. It's really accurate. Out to 75. It's probably the most accurate at 50, but it's good out to 75. And then it starts to open up a little bit at 110. I would say it opens up to like 5 inches at 110. And if I dial it, the valve back to 3 lines, and then I go one more towards the 2, one more hole. There's a little hole and there's 2 holes in it actually. And if I turn one more hole, so it's just barely below the 3rd line, it shoots 850 feet per second, which is probably where most people would say that the pellet needs to be shot at. It doesn't shoot bad there. I don't think it shoots better than it does at 971. So there's that. Okay, now fast forward, we got the 971 at power wheel 1 with 4 lines, so we're back at 4 lines now. So at power wheel 3, which I didn't write down where the quick turn is, but at power wheel 3 it shoots 1040. So at 1040 it actually shoots pretty good. It doesn't group at 50s as good as 971. It's maybe around where like 850 was. And then my power wheel 6, I kind of designed it this way, so power wheel 6 is death, right? That's where I'm shooting the good stuff, right? This is where the power's coming out of the Crosman Premier. So we are still subsonic, and we're getting really good accuracy. So on my power wheel 6, it's basically right at 3 on my quick turn, and I'm still at 4 on the line on the valve, and it shoots right at 1064 to 1070. And it's really fun to shoot there because it's not quite supersonic. It's a little bit noisier, but it doesn't crack the sound barrier. But it gets there really fast, and it's not much less accurate than at 971. And I shot, I don't know, probably 200 or 300 in that 1070 range today, and it kind of prints 2 groups. I wish I could go show you the last one I shot, but you get ones that are right at your correct point of impact, and then you'll get right above it, like a 1/4 inch away, it prints a second group. So it almost looks like you shot 2 groups. So it spits them back and forth. I don't know why it does it. Maybe somebody can comment down below on why it does that, but I don't know if there's different pressures in the plenum between the shots or what, but it kind of sort of prints 2 different groups, and they're really tight. They are super, we're talking like 1/4 inch groups right next to each other, about a 1/4 inch apart. So these are, I'm not trying to be a bench rush shooter. I'm shooting off a damn rock wall. If you guys had any idea how rickety that is, and any idea how tough the conditions are, this isn't this that you see on YouTube where guys have a bench and a fucking squeeze bag. And no offense to those people, I wish I had that stuff. It's expensive and all this fancy crap, but I'm here resting on a rock wall. I got my pellets sitting down there, fire ants crawling all over me, mosquitoes biting my neck. I had so many bug bites on my chest the other day, it was just swollen. So the fire ants are up in these limbs, and when it starts raining, it rains fire ants onto you, and they bite the crap out of your neck and stuff. Downrange down there, I probably had 15-mile-an-hour winds this morning, and then it rains and it blows through, and I mean, this leaves and stuff blowing around. So people that are shitting on my groups, go fuck yourself, because I would love to see you come shoot and print better groups, and I'm gonna get to that. Power wheel 6 is death. it shoots basically 1070. And then at my Power Wheel 8, this actually shoots really good too. And I didn't expect this, but right at 1100, or even better if you're really nitpicking, at 1090, it shoots really good and it's super fast. So funny enough, at 110 yards, 1090 seems to be printing the smallest group. I had multiple bullseyes at 110 yards in the wind and crap and heat. And if you don't know anything about Hawaii, it's a bunch of big ass mountains, right? And so the cold air falls and the hot air rises, right, during the day, and so it blows uphill. And then at night, when it's cooling down, the cold air falls more. And anyway, you get all these winds and stuff. And so down at the other range, at the end of the range where the 110 is, about the last 30 yards is almost like a little valley, and it blows through there. And so the groups at 75 can be, 1 inch, and then they get out to that 110 and they'll open right up. 1090, or basically 1100 feet per second, is what has been shooting the best at 110 yards so far. It does pretty good at 75. I don't think it does as well as 1070, and maybe not as well as 971. At 110 yards, the Premiers basically want to creep out right at the SuperSonic level. And then right below that, they shoot really good. And then 970s, like, it's a real calm feeling gun. It has a nice little crack to it, but it doesn't feel like the springs and the hammers and all that stuff. It doesn't have that airgun feel. And that's where I'll go next, is if I go to my Power Wheel 13, lucky number 13. At Power Wheel 13 is where I go SuperSonic, and that's the 1130 plus. And so according to my app, it's 1130 feet per second to crack the sound barrier at this elevation and humidity level, and I don't know how any of that works, but that's what the app says, so we'll just pretend that it knows what it's talking about. They actually shoot pretty good SuperSonic, and I posted a video.
1,130,
I was gonna make it a short, but it kind of screws up, so I just posted like a minute and 30 second, and you'll see how fast I cycle the second half of the magazine. The phone doesn't really capture it very well, but you can hear the SuperSonic cracks, and it was really fun to shoot. I'm not even exaggerating. I've probably shot millions, maybe 1 million rimfire rounds, and if you count BBs and pellets and stuff, when I was a little kid, I've shot millions and millions. And then I've shot a lot of centerfire pistol rounds too. Lots and lots of rimfire. I used to shoot basically 500 rounds of rimfire per day for years. Yes, and that was back when they were like $7 to $13 depending on the time. I really like shooting rimfire. It's like that nice kind of quiet, it doesn't blow your ears out, but it has good performance, and then you can just hose with it and you can just shoot. I gotta smack another mosquito. It really reminds me of rimfire, and these things have 28 round magazines, and so it's super, super fun. It just has, you don't have to wear your plugs, but it's got a sonic crack. I've got I actually have the Donnie FL from my 30 cal on there. I just knew I was gonna be pushing speeds. I didn't want them to like clip or anything like that. And when I was shooting in the dark with the flashlight, it actually looked like they were flying better coming out of my real Donnie than the FX. I don't know, fake Donnie that they put on there. The FX one works really good at lower speed, quiet-wise, but I think this one actually shoots a little bit better at the higher speeds. I was just watching them in the flashlight, kind of the, I don't know, spin drift or whatever you want to call it. And this one looked like it shot better. And it's the one from my 30 cal, so maybe it strips the air a little bit better than the other one or something. But it's a real Donnie with the felt and stuff inside of it. The I don't even know how the stock FX one really works because it doesn't have anything inside of it. It's like hollow. But anyway, it works good. I am shooting a real Donnie. It's got black tape all over it, so when I bang it into rock walls, it doesn't get all chipped up. So that's where I'm at. I'm shooting basically 100 bar. The gun at 4 lines it shoots right in the 950 with the JSBs. I think I had to actually turn it out to 4.5 or 5 lines to get it to shoot 1050 now that I think about it. I think I wrote my notes wrong here. But yeah, the Crosman Premiers, shooting them above 950, it seems to like them. And you know, the Crosman Premiers are a very, very old pellet. Everybody used to love them. Now everybody's too cool for them. And they're probably not as good as quality as they used to, but they used to be really good back in the day. And like the field target guys used them. You can find old videos on YouTube and stuff of people using them. And I'm here to tell you, they're still actually pretty decent. They have a little bit thicker skirt on them. And so I have some Hades. I didn't even get into that. I shot a bunch of other stuff today. So I've got Hades. These shoot really good. So nothing's actually out shooting the Premiers. I've got 5 different pellets. I've got some Gamo stuff. So there was a video that I didn't publish the first day I got the gun. I shot 5 different pellets through it at 50 yards and very little point of impact shift. And it pretty much printed them all in the same like 1.5 inches. So the Hades has a little bit thinner skirts, and some of these Hades have dented skirts. The Premiers, they have like a little bit of manufacturing like booger stuff on them sometimes, which probably changes the weight, which is probably where you get the flyers from. But the skirts aren't as dented and stuff as the Hades. Kind of the way I would describe the difference in the way that the two shoot is the Premiers might throw you a group, you know, 1.5 inches, and they're just kind of they're kind of all over there. And you've seen some of the ones that I've shot fast. I would say that's consistent if you slow down too. The Hades will stack them on top of each other, and then it'll spit one. And so the group size ends up really kind of being the same. It's just like the Premiers throw a little shotgun blast on there, and the Hades have a really tight group and then a flyer. I tried the Hades at a couple different speeds. I took them down to 910, and they shot pretty good there. And then I think I put them up at like 950, and it started to open up. It would spit one to the right a little bit more, and so the group was effectively the same size as a Premier group. I do like the Hades. I would say they are more accurate. So if you sorted them, they would probably be quite a bit more accurate. But bang for the buck, like what are these things? Like, I can't even remember what these are. I think they're $17 for 500 or something like that. That's like a good deal on them. $30 on Amazon or some freaking ripoff thing. And the Premiers where I live are $8. Some people are getting them for $6 and $7. Bang for the buck, like basically getting the same group size in the conditions that I'm shooting in, not off a bench and all this sort of crap. So I don't really care about anybody's opinion about that again. Off my wobbly ass rock wall with the wind and the sun and the humidity and the rain and mosquitoes biting me and stuff, they're literally shooting the same. And that goes for 110 yards with the JSB knockouts. So I'm not trying to make this sound like a Premier commercial, but for the money, they're not really getting outshot. Obviously, I've shot more of them than the other pellets, but I mean, I've shot at the speeds and stuff that other people like to shoot them at, and they're not doing any better. And so there are sweet spots, and there's sweet spots at my house with the Premiers. There's sweet spots up here, like it shoots like 0.5 mil left half the time up here. It's just, I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know about all those atmospheric pressures and stuff. I'm not a bench rush shooter. I don't really want to be. I just like to hose. And so I'm a speed kind of guy. I'm learning the gun. I noticed that this impact, so I was trying to get myself to hold really light for ear guns. and that was working out really well for me. And then I got this gun, and sometimes it was shooting real tight, and sometimes it wasn't. And then I noticed when I leaned into the gun, when I kind of just buried it in, and not in like I squeezed it in sort of way, but I leaned into it sort of way. When I leaned into the gun, it would go from printing like 3-inch to right down to like nothing. Just by leaning into it and putting that pressure into my shoulder. So I don't know if that helps control the barrel jump or if it just changes the general harmonics of it or something. I have no idea. I'm sure I'll find out eventually. Maybe somebody can comment on it. But when I lean into the gun, it literally, you can watch the groups open and close. And what's funny is I sighted it in, like I zeroed it with a lighter hold, so it should be zeroed for that light hold, and then usually you put your cheek into it or something like that, and that's when it shifts, so you should always have the same hold. But no matter what, it seems like if I lean into it a little bit more. That was my observation in the 1,400 shots in the last 2 days. And the more I lean into it, I need to relax. Sometimes I like tense up, and if I lean into the gun, it just sucks it up. I shot the AEA 25s. I shot these. These are supposed to be the best monster pellet on the market right now. They don't do any better than the Premiers. I went out to 110. I shot them everywhere from like 820 to I think 1,000, and they never printed a group at distance or even really up close, even at 75, better than the Premiers. I know so many people are gonna think that's horseshit, and I wish I could have recorded it all, but it's so damn distracting to record everything. And the other thing that I don't like is the gun doesn't feel harmonious. It doesn't feel, it's a little bit better when you run the higher reg pressures because it feels like it has a little bit more pop and less like boring to it. But it just feels like there's stuff going on in there. My race Glock pistol is a Glock 35, and I got a 9mm barrel conversion for it, but it's a 40 caliber. And so I got the 9 because the 9's like a little bit better of a competition round than a 40. 40's got a little bit too much power. And so I wanted to use it for a competition. Plus it was a really nice match grade barrel and stuff. And I was just shooting a stock Glock 40 barrel. Slide is heavier for the 40. So when I put the 9 barrel kit in it, it had this real like mechanical feel. And it was a lot like when I shot rimfire. I had to use a Ruger Mark II. I couldn't use any of the ones with the auto slides because I would draw so fast that the gun wouldn't cycle. So I would only get one shot and then I'd have to rack it. I always shot like the Rugers and stuff because they don't have a slide, and the inertia from pushing the gun so fast wouldn't stop the slide. There's other guns that don't do that, so I don't give a fuck what you people think. That happened, and I couldn't really practice. I couldn't do draw practice with my 22 conversion kits or anything. I had them for 1911, a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, the AEA, the best 25 grainer on the market right now, isn't shooting better than the Premiers, and it's just these conditions. And just so you guys can see that I have them here in front of me, I got thousands of these things in my house, and I'm probably just going to end up selling them on eBay because I don't like shooting them better than the Premiers, and I still got like 4,000 Premiers sitting in my house too. Different magazines. I've been using the QD Fox ones or whatever. These have a tighter spring in them, and the tolerances are like a lot tighter than the FX one. So I was a little bit afraid that they might get some clipping on the pellets, like when you push them through, but it doesn't seem to matter which magazine I use. It all just seems to work. You can still see I've got kind of, I don't know, this is off another gun I had. It's just kind of a China mount. But my other rings were kind of screwed up and they were kind of too low. So while I'm waiting for my other one, I lost in the mail, or I don't know where the hell they're at. They're not getting here. it's actually shooting good. And I had to move it around. And one of the other things why I don't like recording is I was getting really frustrated. I'm trying not to, you know, be fake with you guys. I want you to see like real shit. I don't want you to just like, you know, shoot at 25 yards or whatever and tell you it's 75 or some stupid thing like that. I'm trying to be real with you guys, and so when I'll shoot a bunch of like really tight groups. We're talking like 1/2-inch groups with premieres. And like I gotta record this. I found a sweet spot. And I wanna record how good this thing's shooting. And I turn the scope cam on and it shoots like 2 inches off. I'm like, I just shot like 7 1/2-inch groups. And I turn the scope cam on and it's like barely even hitting the freaking 3-inch spinner or whatever. And so I side and I get it, I like re-zero it, and then I push record and it's like ping ping, like 3 in the same spot, and then it spits a flyer, and I was getting really frustrated. I can't get on video what I'm getting without the scope cam on it. And one of the things I figured out is that because the scope cam sticks off the back of the gun, it was changing that shoulder rest. So I noticed, and I think that's how I ended up finding out that the gun likes to be pressed into, because every time I put the scope cam on, I would unpress. And a lot of the time, I used the back of my hand and I pressed in the back of the grip. That's how I was getting a lighter hold before. I would kind of press down with the back of my hand. But I really do kind of like to lean into the gun more. And then if you do shoot that way, when you go back to like center fires or something like that, you know, you don't have this airgun hold. And this gun seems to like it, so I'm kind of digging that. The scope cam changes my accuracy. It's obviously not changing the gun's accuracy, but the way that I hold the gun is changing my accuracy, which is affecting the gun. This gun's amazing. It shoots amazing. I'm so excited and happy that I bought this thing. It's like the most fun I've had for the last 2 weeks. Like, and I've got a lot of fun toys, right? And this thing is just cool. And I especially love shooting it SuperSonic. But it's really fun to just be right below. I really like shooting at 1100 too, because it's nice and quiet. It's like a little laser. Anyway, that is a 35-minute video. I'll probably edit out some of it. But anyway, that's what I'm up to. If you're into impacts, hey, you know, talk shit about my cheap pellets. They're working, man. they're working. And I think the more and more I just dial them in, and even more importantly, and this is the most important thing of all, I'm getting trigger time. I've learned this gun a lot about this gun in the last day, because I sat here and slung whatever 1,300 pellets through the thing. There's no substitute for that. If Crosman Premiers gets you out shooting, you're going to be a better shooter, period. End of story. You can learn how to walk in your shots. You'll learn how, like, all these weather conditions and stuff where my point of impact is changing. Like, I'm learning to deal with that, and I'm learning to deal with that at speed. And then I don't have to worry about shooting 10-cent pellets. It's just, that's ridiculous. That's what ammo costs, not what pellets should cost, right? They've got a casing, they've got powder, they've got, you know, the bullet itself. There's no reason why these damn pellets should cost as much as rimfire ammo used to. They're not that damn match grade. Anyway, I'm happy shooting the cheap pellets, and they seem to be shooting damn near as good as everything else. Throw your hate in the comments. All the hate does is make my video get more views, so fucking hate away, I don't care. But if you're gonna say stupid shit, like, say stupid shit, but just know that you're gonna look like an asshole, and I don't care. Anyway, it's not a bench rest. It's off a rock wall. We're shooting groups and shooting good. At 110 yards with the premieres at 1090, I'm probably shooting somewhere around, I would say it's about 2 inches, but the kind of little flyers here and there, or maybe it's wind gusts or something, spits it out. So it's really probably in measurement, probably closer to a 5, maybe 6 inch group sometimes. But I can print most of them inside of that 2 inch at 110 yards at 1,090 feet per second. Depending on the temperature, I think, outside. Sometimes it's shooting 1,100 real consistently, or it'll be like 1101, 1104, 1106. And then like 20 minutes later, 1090, 1091, 1092, 1089, 1090, 1090, and then 20 minutes after that. I don't think the regulator or something's bad in the brand new gun. I think it's just the temperature changes or something, pressure, humidity or something like that. Anyway, if you guys stayed for this whole thing, congratulations. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I am going to print you some stuff. I was going to do some hog hunting today. I actually did record a bunch of hog hunting, but I only saw 2, and they wandered off onto the neighbor's property, and I didn't want to try and flank them through the neighbor's property because I don't have permission to hunt the neighbor's property. I was going to shoot them with JSBs, but hey, I might shoot them with Premiers at 1100 feet per second because I'm not exactly sure how many foot-pounds that is, but thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy. Take care.